Hello fellow greenskins and welcome to Winter Disco Tabletop Gaming. Oh boy, we got some more orcs. There are just a ton of new orcs. And we have the video playing in the background at the moment just so you can get them in nice, cinematic, well lit kind of way. But we're gonna just stop that and jump right into it because there's just so much to talk about. What they've shown off is making me so super excited. So let's go through. Firstly, we have the kill rig. What is this? It is a giant fat squig wearing a nice hat, which is cute. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 orcs on top of it with giant cannons and guns and just a whole bunch of stuff. There is a werboy. Oh wow, there is a werboy. Oh my god, let's pronounce that again. A werboy. That's really hard to say. He's sitting up top as a psyker is amplifying. It's getting amplified through that weird skull thing, metal skull. But there's just, this is giant model. It's huge. It's completely impractical in its own orky way, which therefore means it works. But just so many little bits on here that's just so cool. Like you've got this weird wire holding up everything, which looks exactly like a wire that you would see in the real world. Like seriously, come on guys. We're finally getting interesting 40k stuff. And if you've been on the channel, I've been a bit critical of what 40k have been doing in the last year or so. There hasn't been any models, I guess, doing anything interesting. But we finally have these new orcs. I think they're doing a lot of interesting stuff, and the new kill team stuff also really interesting. So we have some more close-ups here. Oh my god, there's a little Gretchen inside as well. This is what I love about orcs, just the weirdness and the stupidness and the cuteness and the playfulness. There's just a Gretchen hanging out inside, probably part of the engine. Yeah, this is what I love about orcs. There also is another loadout for this one. It's essentially it'll be the same kit, I guess. It's called a hunter rig. So instead of the werboy, you have a giant torpedo grappling hook with a chain on it. I like it. I think it's, like I said in other videos, kits that have multiple different builds are awesome. And it looks like you can transport, it says you can transport hollering mobs of their clanmates into battle, which is awesome. So it's almost like a transport vehicle too. So that's kind of cool. We also finally get a look at the beast boss, and he is thick. This guy is huge. I don't know what size base he's on, but he is just absolutely monstrous. He does have a lot of shoulder armor on. He's a big boy. So giant, what are we going to call that? It's a giant cleaver, really. It's not a sword or a blade. It's a killing cleaver with his weird humanoid cybernetic arm. I know a few people aren't all that keen on the cybernetics that they've got, but I kind of like it. I guess it's a little different to the whole thrown together bit. There's a bit more, what can you call it? A bit more thought behind it. And you have that highly advanced tech holding onto a brute force bit of metal that's been beaten in the shape, and then big teeth sticking out everywhere. We also have the giant claw on his other hand for ripping people apart. Just a crazy model, lots of types of material on there. And we got a squig on top. He's a good boy. I love little squigs like that. He's a big boy. This is the boss you need, the beast boss. Take him in. We got some more close-ups here. Definitely see the arm there, and I love how cybernetics are all like stapled in, like riveted in. It just shows that they just take the pain and they love it. And of course, we know orcs don't have hair, so this guy has some hair stapled in. I wonder whatever happened to the hair squigs, because I'm pretty sure there was hair squigs back in the day, which they would just bite onto an orc's head and they'd have hair. I reckon I'm sure they existed. I'm not making that up. Bring the hair squigs back. But yeah, this is a hefty boy. You're not going to want to fight him. Pretty scary. And we also have some terrain, I guess it's terrain. So this is I love the description of this. Taking the severed head of a gargan as their boss hut is not only a symbol of status, it also provides a convenient forward command center from which to yell at the boys. So it's the head of a gargan that they've just propped up and just loaded up with guns. And it's got loudspeakers at the top. Seriously, I love how I can just imagine the design team working on orcs, and you saw this in the kill team orc commandos as well. There'll be a link to that in the end of the video if you haven't checked that out yet. Just how much fun they have, because they probably thought, they've seen a picture of a gargan that's fallen over and be like, oh, that looks cool. Yeah, an orc would definitely take that and use it as his own hut. And it would probably say that he took the gargan down himself. There's just so much detail in there, so much narrative and storytelling. Like, how did they get this? What happened? How did it fall over? What's going on there? Yeah, I have so many questions and I love it. finally get a proper look at the Great White Squig with Big Chomper on top. This matches the artwork pretty much exactly. It's got the Squig's got the exhaust pipes riveted into him. The orc on top himself is just half his face is gone. It's gone for a very Terminator look. With the cool cybernetics, it's somewhat more orky in that it's full of pistons and bits riveted on and things like that, but I like it. I like it a lot. I don't particularly like the squig itself. I think it's the weird mix of white and pink purpley color that I don't particularly like, but the orc on top, yes please. And are we saying these are snake bites? Because that is a snake bite thing, unless they're just saying, no, they're called Beast Snaggas now. I don't know. I want to give them more banners or physical totem poles. I think that'd be really cool. And we get some more close-ups here. Yeah, just, you can see on the face of Big Chopper. Is that his name? Big Chomper. Big Chomper. That's his name. Just stapled in all around the cybernetics. His skin is just starting to rot and corrode. Gross and disgusting. Very interesting tattoo. Very Pacific Islander, Maori style tattoo. Interesting. I love all the details here. Just all the little attention to details, love it. And there's more because, you know, we need more orcs. We have a beast boss on Squigosaur. I love the look of the bosses. I love the look of the new orcs completely. At the same time, you've got that savagery, brutalness, and archaic nature. They use furs and just bits of metal beaten together and bones and things, and then you've got guns. Like this guy's got a bit of metal plastered into the top of his head and the iron jaws welded and bolted to his face, because why not? And they've given the squig a leg. Yeah, it's just so many things. And of course, we already knew this. We hadn't seen all the models yet. We only saw one or two. New Ork Boyz, because the Ork Boy kit needed an upgrade, and these kits are great. They're so much more muscular, so much heftier, meaner. I don't really know how big they are yet. I think they're big. They'd have to be bigger than human size in height, like width. Yeah, definitely. They are really veiny as well. On their arms, they got so many veins, very muscular. I think it's a really good upgrade. I was a little unsure to start with, but now I've come around to it. There's just a lot of other bits and pieces in there. I think I needed to see more. And with orc stuff, I'm hoping that there will be lots of bits and pieces that you can just build them out in various different ways. So we're just like cycling through the images just to check them all out. Yeah, just, I think it's a kit that needed an upgrade, and I think it's a fair upgrade. It's modernizing it. It's adding more elements to it, making them a bit more interesting. So more dynamic posing, more movement in their posing, a bit more detail and things like that. I mean, I don't mind the old orc kit. I've got some and I really do like them. So I think a mix of two of them, I think it's going to be fine. And just when you thought that everything was done, no. This is one of my favorite orc kits of all time. Not this particular kit, but the idea of this, of the Deffkoptas. Why? They make absolutely no sense. Just stupid orc helicopters. I don't have words because it's such a dumb idea, but they're just beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. You just get this feeling of apocalypse now. Just them coming over the horizon, barely holding together, spewing out all this black and grey smoke, barely flying, barely off the ground, because they're not meant to fly. Come on, guys. Seriously, it's so cool. I love how they don't actually have flight stands as well. Yes, I think they're going to be a bit flimsy. I think you have to really weight down the bases to make sure they don't fall over, but just the stupidness of it, the comic nature of these kits. I mean, the guy's got a little flying hat and goggles. Just, I love it. I just love orc stuff. I just love it. And we're going to end here with a big image of most of them there. Very nice stuff. Just let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, and of course this isn't the only orc stuff that got announced overnight. We do have the new Orc Commandos in the new Kill Team edition. So there's the video on screen now that you can check out. So that's it. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching and let the green tide begin. See you later.